Hey, everybody. Welcome to Open the Gates. I'm your host, Matt Burke. And tonight we're going to be having on Rex Christian. He's going to be talking about his magazine, Devil Flyer. So if you guys give a warm welcome to Rex, that would be awesome. What's up, Rex? How you doing, man? What's up, brother?
Hey, bro.
Hey, what's up, man? How you been?
Good. You usually do this after your horror stream, right, with Brian?
Yeah, we actually kicked off the Western Spaghetti Jamboree. We're going to be doing the Western Spaghetti Jamboree every other week and the Horror Movie Club every
Oh,
other
that's
week too.
sweet.
So
Yeah, there
you
were
know, I
some
was like,
great
hey,
spaghetti westerns. They
I was
say
like,
the
Brian,
only
dude, we
ones
should
that
start
made any
rocking that.
money though were the Clint Eastwood, and the
Probably.
Italians made a bunch of them.
Yeah, we're going hard on the spaghetti ones. I mean, we'll probably do
Yeah,
others. It's just like, Brian, dude, we got to
yeah,
do some spaghetti westerns,
the
bro.
only
You
other
down?
ones that I can think that were kind of famous were the Trinity
Yeah,
movies.
My Name is Trinity. I seen the
Yeah,
first one.
yeah,
I love that one. And
yeah.
from what I gathered out of this, because we did Django. We kicked it off with Django. And I had never seen Django. I mean, I seen Django fucking Unchained, but I never seen Django with Franco Nero and
Right. I've seen the
Lynch.
original. I hadn't seen the remake, although it's
Yeah,
probably worth a
the
watch.
original is way better. I mean, it's worth the
Yeah.
watch. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
different character
Yeah.
altogether. It's something
Right.
totally something else entirely. But
Leonardo
um,
DiCaprio was in that one, wasn't he? The remake.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
because you have the
Yeah.
whole like it's all in America. It's like the American
What do
slave
you think about
thing,
Leo's
and
work? What do you think about Leo's work?
he's great. He's great. He's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
Everything I really liked him in Gangs of New York, Wolf of Wall Street,
Quick and
um,
the
um,
Dead. Quick and the Dead.
Quick and the Dead was awesome. I love that great Sam Raimi movie,
Yeah.
one of the best westerns ever. That movie
Titanic,
had
of
really cool
course. Yeah.
Titanic, and for
Yeah.
me, like with my book Butch Cleaver, it's fantasy horror western. It leans a little more on the fantasy, I guess. But what I like
Yeah.
about Quick and the Dead is they have all those iconic characters that are really like
Have you seen
set
Octopus
in. And
Cowboy? That's set in the West.
oh yeah, we actually shilled that book tonight. That was the comic book that we shilled
Cool.
on
Cool. Yeah, I love
Jamboree.
it, man. The artwork's awesome. He's got a
I gotta
killer
get that, man.
trailer.
I gotta get the first one, the second one. That book's criminally underfunded. It's at like $5,000. But
That is textbook, Matt. It is criminally underfunded. You can,
yeah,
if you don't have an online presence, if you don't have a baked in, sort of built in audience, you can put
yep,
out the best product that you possibly can, and nobody cares.
no, no,
It barely gets maybe enough to get funded, and then just stops for months, or the rest of the campaign. It's like,
you
what
have to
the
have a
hell,
presence,
man?
man. People need to know who you are. It's
They do.
constant marketing. People have short attention spans now, so
Well,
you
they're
constantly have to be.
investing in you
Well, there's that. Yeah,
because
there's that
they're
too.
investing in your product. They might like comics, but that comes secondary, I think, with this crowd. And it's not just this crowd we're trying to reach. Hopefully we're trying to get into the comic book market. Local comic book stores, or the
Yeah.
airports, or wherever they have,
Well, there's that, and
matter,
then there's just different.
reading matter.
There's different like places. There's different subgroups that'll just buy your fucking book too. They'll back it if they know about it. A lot of people are
Right.
kind of new to Kickstarter and the crowdfunding model, and just comic
Mhm.
book. There's just different ways to get your stuff out
I'm
there.
all new to this. I had zero online presence, before the YouTube type of thing. And I was interested in comics, and, Ethan would do drawing tutorials, which are some of the best videos he ever produced, I think. A lot of people talking about his trash simulcast or whatever.
Trash
Uh,
gas.
huh? But that
The trash
doesn't
gas.
help me as any creator really get where I want to be,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So which is, look at how to do it from a professional, is very helpful, to a lot of people.
Yeah, if you're a comic
And not only
book
that,
creator,
it
you can
kind of
take a lot
draws
from there.
you in to get into the comic book scene online, That's what
Yeah,
it did for
absolutely.
me, And so for a couple years, I've been building my channel, which is still just reaching like 375 subscribers, because I do everything
Fuck
live.
yeah.
Don't try and play the algorithm. Somebody said, I don't know, was
I
it
don't
you,
either.
Matt? Yeah.
I don't
Oh, it
either.
was
I don't play the. I mean, listen to
tonight. He
listen
said,
to the name of my channel, dude. You have to pick one of those three things: metal, movies, and brewskis. You don't pick all fucking three of them. You do beer, you do metal, or you do movies. But I say fuck that. I'm
yeah,
gonna do everything, and I'm gonna do comics. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah.
I do what I want. I say what I want. I am who I am. People like it. They like it. They sub. They sub. They don't. It's just raw as fuck. You know,
Well,
like
you
that's
do
how I
some
am.
great
But
interviews. You do some great interviews over here,
thanks, man.
and
I've been very
you
fortunate
have
to
fun
get
with the
people on.
channel. What else could you ask for?
Yeah, I'm just here having fun, and and then I could show people my work too. If they want to check out my books or my music or whatnot, it's there. So and
Well, I
I
mean,
get to talk to
as
people and
much as this crap back here is, and might even be some of it valuable or whatever, I think some of it's invaluable. Like a
I'm
book
sure it
on
is
Jack
for me too.
Kirby,
Yeah, I
a
love
book
Kirby.
on Jack Kirby.
Yeah,
That's invaluable to me. It's a treasure because it's something I'm interested in. But I didn't produce all this stuff. But
mhm,
I can reach over here and I can get an ash can that I did,
yeah,
and say I did this, and I produced that comic, and and so I'm excited about this new campaign that and apparently a lot of other people are too. We got fully funded $2,000 in 4 days.
no, that's pretty good, man.
Wow,
Like
you know.
that's solid.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
we had nearly half of that on less than an hour. I launched over on Red Valkyrie. She's got a larger channel than I do, um, and just the fun of her cosplaying my character.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
That
She's solid, man. She did the same thing with Butch Cleaver back in the day.
yeah.
I
How
didn't
cool
launch on
is
there,
that?
but I was just like,
How
oh
cool is
shit,
that?
she made a
It
badass
makes
Butch
it
Cleaver
fun,
costume.
man. That's what she drew. That's what she likes to do and puts her money into. And like she said, 52 weeks, one a week. I don't see how she does it. That's 52 cosplays in a year, or
Yeah, man.
whatever it is, 56, whatever.
She's got
I
the
don't even
market
know.
corner
It's
too.
leap year,
You don't
but
see anybody else out there promoting people and doing cosplay of their books. You don't see anybody in the indie comic book scene globally, doing promotion
yeah,
and cosplaying as that. She's had
yeah.
the market for that specific sector cornered for I think almost a decade now. So big ups to her, man. Um, whatchamacallit, man? You've been into comics for a long time, man. Like I've known you now for about a year or so.
Hmm.
I've been switching careers. I used to jump on your chats and try to catch them all the time, man. It's very entertaining. I'd sit there drawing with the board on my lap, and listen to you and
A lot of
Shadow
people
talking
do
about
that.
comics.
They listen in like radio.
Yeah, it's like you're there, and
Hmm.
so
Every
so I know
day.
who you are. So
Mm-hmm.
for maybe some of the cats that are watching this and they're going to be watching on the replay, maybe you could tell us a
Oh,
little bit about yourself, brother.
well, I'm in Jonesboro, Arkansas. That's northeast Arkansas, about an hour's drive out of Memphis. I was
Oh,
born
nice.
in Little Rock and
My family's from,
transposed.
but we talked.
Huh?
I think we talked about that one time because I've live streamed with you like maybe 3 times. But my my mom's side's from Little Rock.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I was born in Little
Yeah.
Rock at St. Vincent's in North Little Rock, I believe it is, and adopted, brought up at here to Jonesboro, and I've been here all my life. Uh, I've been everywhere except Northwest.
Okay.
I've been out to California,
What's up,
been
pops?
out to Florida, been to New York. Hey, pops. And so, how did I get into comics? I've just always wanted
Yeah.
to do comics. I come from a family that farms. In fact, I was
Mhm.
on with earlier today with one of the people from Silverline Comics, and his
Nice, nice.
parents lived not too far from me. So,
Small world, right?
yeah, yeah. He was up in Jonesboro here. I said, next time you come up here, let me know, because he's got a family
Right. Let's get a
member
beer or
that's
something.
ailing, so he'll be coming back this way. I'd meet him for one of those brewskis you're talking about. Although here,
Oh, for sure.
even though we're about 60,000 people, maybe it's a
Mhm.
dry county, so you have to go
Oh,
to the line to get alcohol to drink. You know, it's
Oh,
dry.
that's fun.
But it's
No,
it's the
it's like
wettest
a little
Dry
quest,
County. You know, you can always go to a club.
Yeah.
You know,
No, that's cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did that with Dillard had a little thing at his house, man. That was fun. You know, got to meet up with like Plagle and
Yeah, I'm talking about
and
doing that. Or
you know,
Ryan, RJ are talking about that. I said next time Rini comes in that does Phoenix, I'd like to meet her in person. You know, and some of the other creators in around this area. You know,
yeah, man.
and it's
From the
like have a little mini convention or whatever. You know.
exactly,
Yeah.
dude. Like I think us, people that have been around a long time creating comics, you know, for all this throughout all the fucking, cancel pigs movements and whatnot, deflecting of that. We should.
Pigs.
Well, I
They're
mean,
running the
there's been a
White
big cancel
House.
pig movement, man.
Just
And they've been closing the gates on us, and now
Yeah.
we're starting to fucking spit the feed in their fucking bullshit faces, and now we're kind of taking over. You know what I mean? And we just need to start making regular fucking comics.
Yeah.
And it's
Wow,
just
man,
that's what we want to do.
You're
And,
already on episode 64. Good for you, man.
oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I can't believe it. I'm like, what the fuck? How is that possible? It's only been like a year and like I think like a year and a half. Yeah.
Today's we've already celebrated 651 episodes of the 4 o'clock shadow. I was showing collectibles for like 4 months, right? And then I got this brilliant idea while sitting outside and letting my dog out, 4 o'clock shadow. It just came to my mind, while probably rubbing the stubble on my chin. And 4 was a good time for me because I do a nighttime job, spraying for mosquitoes. We do the different cities around here, Jonesboro and just wherever around here. Paragould, where, Hall and Oates parents lived in Paragould, about 45 minutes from me.
Crazy.
So that's their claim to fame, I guess, Oates's parents. But I did 116 episodes by myself. This is how technically challenged I was. And then I started using StreamYard. I was like, okay, because I was going through the YouTube studio, but that only allows you, no other guest. But once I started, I kind of got a hardcore following that was there to kind of view the collectibles and whatnot. And I was on a regular time, started doing that, my thing, at least once a day, which was not easy. No, especially what's collectibles, and
well, it's hard to keep any fucking show. It's hard to keep it going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just hard. It's not easy.
No, and it takes commitment. And I realize that, a lot of people watch it on replay because they're unable to, they're at work, but some people listen while they're going to work, coming back from work. I mean, it was the same way with Shadowhawk that's my co-host. And he started episode 117, and he's been with me ever since. And he was commuting back from work, so he's kind of made the commitment. And but once I started interacting with other people and having more of a variety show, the channel started to slowly grow, and here we are.
No, that's awesome, man. It's going to keep growing too. And I was talking to Pops the other day or today. He just got monetized, and I was saying, that's cool, man. You're a fucking character, and there's not that many characters out there. You know what I mean? And there's a few. There's a good amount. Sorry, there's a good amount of characters on YouTube in our space, right? But there's a lot of people that aren't characters. And if you're a fucking character, that's awesome. You're a character, Rex. Shadow's a character for sure, and characters are fucking fun to listen to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a character. I'm kind of just whatever the fuck. But
no, I don't know. I mean, Hal Salad kind of did a riff on some of the bigger creators, but you could absolutely do it with like you'd have metal hair, and you'd probably be doing this and have the guitar.
Well, I mean,
you could, they did that little skit of them in the boat, Washington crossed into Delaware. With Ethan as George Washington, standing in the boat. And
Ethan's a character.
Cecil and all the other.
Cecil's a character.
you could absolutely do that with just a bunch of, personalities that's on YouTube.
Dude, I was just about to say that. What makes a good character is a big personality.
Yeah.
So if you got this massive personality, you're a fucking character. But a lot of people that they just their personality doesn't bleed through over the screen on YouTube.
Well, I mean, I
some
played it
people
a little
have
conservative,
it, and some people
at
don't.
first. It's like I was started as the co-host about the same
Yeah.
time I started putting content up on my channel, and really Apex Comics. He said by next Saturday, we started on Tuesday. We just celebrated 2 years back in December,
Apex is a
right
character
after
too.
the day after Christmas, I think. And then he said, and we had another one Saturday, that next Saturday, about
Yeah.
4 days away. And he said, I want to see 2 videos on some content up on your channel, Rex. So I came back with 6 and been going ever since. I've got over 1,200 videos up over there now.
So,
and
I got to ask you a question, man. You started out in comics. When did you start reading comics? What age were you when that happened?
Well, I had Vampire Tales magazine back in 1974 or 5. Wasn't reading them on a regular basis then, but I, it's, begged my father for it because I was into monsters. And then
Yeah.
a neighbor of mine broke his leg, so he had a stack of about 5 or 6 comics like Defenders 15 and stuff before I got started from like 74, 75, something like that. And I bought them like at a flea market, he said he was going to put them up. And I said, I'll buy them 50 cents, and for a stack and read them, loved it. DC and Marvel stuff. Devoured it, liked it. But I still didn't know what this comic thing was like. Of course, I watched cartoons and stuff. Really, I got started and indoctrinated when I was a kid in the 60s. I loved anything superheroes. Of course, you had Herculoids and Space Ghost and Johnny Quest. And
60s.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was I call it the golden era of animation. And
I think it was the best time to live in America was in the 60s, early 70s.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had all that fucking money. Everybody could do whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I've been an artist and drawing and making my homemade comics and things like that for a while, and just kind of world building. And then when this crowdfunding model came around, it's like distribution solves the distribution problem. Others did it, watched Wreck Planet just skyrocket within 5 minutes over $100,000. That's exciting. If Ethan can do it, I can do it,
Yeah, man.
So let's go do it,
100%.
And John Maylan's, says, build your channel for a couple years. If you're working on a comic and really you're putting all your effort into it, it might take you a couple years. So even though I had mine ready to go, just about ready to go, I was still rushing it, And so I decided, I pivoted, I turned. Things weren't working out with a colorist. Wasn't turning in the quality of work I wanted. And, but I was rushing it to get out there, when nobody knew me. And, so I pivoted and I did an ash can. We funded in less than a month, but that was $500. And over the course of time, we've done over $1,300 on the ash can alone. And then, and it's still up on Indiegogo for a few more days, and I'll take it down. But in the meantime, Fund My Comic came up. Even with Fund My Comic, I was wanting to get my comic up on there fairly early. But it really is, if you're not ready, and my current project's maybe about 85% done, somewhere in there, not complete yet, but I guarantee it's going to be epic by the time I get done with it. And that's just taking time, thinking about it, rethinking it. How can I make this better? Retool it. Don't get in a hurry, Just, a lot of people are like, it's a big part of it is, and what we miss, Matt, is you're selling dreams. You can absolutely do things like standees and other stuff that, other campaigns are doing, but also try and think out of the box and look out there and say, well, what hasn't been done before?
That's what I'm doing on my next book, actually.
Yeah.
But someone did it. Someone fucking did it, and I was like, oh my god, Bruce Dickinson did it from Iron Maiden. I'm not gonna say what it is, but he fucking did it. But you always have to, and he just did it. Like, I think we do have to think outside the box. Every fucking campaign, every creator has to think outside the box. And what new could they bring to the boutique of comic book crowdfunding?
And as you and I were starting the show before we went live, we were talking about over on Fund My Comic, they have an option of a storefront, so I can absolutely put this Devil Flyer up on storefront, and that's passive income while you make your next project. You've got a flow coming in, and that's for us that are non-professionals. And I asked Mike Barron on the show, what is a professional? And he said a person that does it full time, that's his job.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, I asked somebody that earlier today, I think, and they gave me a kind of a different answer. You know,
I think it depends on the person.
I asked Luke Stone, as a matter of fact, and he was like, quality, blah, blah, a long answer. No, it's who does it full time. That's their day job. That's their night job.
Like for me, I don't agree with either of them. For me, it's how much fucking money you make. Then you're a pro.
Well, there you go. I mean, money is latitude. It's movement.
So it's like, well, I did this, but I made this much money. So then after a while, it starts going into like,
and you got to be willing, Matt, to go out of your comfort zone for that. You know, you got to be a risk taker to a certain degree.
You have to take risks. You have to do things you don't want to do. You have to get uncomfortable.
Yep.
100%.
And, you know, COVID and election delays, printing delays, shortages and stuff, things crop up, you know, so you got to kind of navigate that minefield, you know, as you go. You got to kind of pivot with things. And I know that there's some creators that they like to do it all. I mean, I've considered myself an artist. I kind of came on, they were like, who's this Christian dude? I don't know.
I was about to say that, dude. You're a badass artist. You're badass.
I would thank you. Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm starting to do stuff, you know, and show people, okay, I can do this, you know, because I was kind of
you, man. You're all fucking like, yeah, I did this.
Just because I employed others doesn't mean that I can't draw.
That's you. That's you right there. That's you.
Huh? Yeah,
that's you right there, right?
Stuff. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I fucking love your work, man. I've seen your characters too and your work.
There's a piece.
Yeah, I would love to see. I'd love to see.
I do a lot on like topic lists, you know.
Oh yeah. I watch that show whenever I can, man. Mm-hmm. That's how I learned about you, brother. Was on topic.
Right. I mean, you know, I saw Jason Bascom and Luke, and you know, and saw Jason Bascom when Dan Fragger was doing Couch Doodles, and I said he seems like a cool dude. I'm gonna reach out to him. You know, he's not like Fragga level, but
that's where I met a lot of people from Fragga's stream, dude. Like,
yeah,
that was a lot of like cats.
And it's sad that Fragga hadn't been in the trenches. Just, you know, he can say, well, I'm kind of been working on this project for 2-3 years, and it's going to be, and I'm sure it is. I backed it to the hilt, but then, you know, he had like a tier where you could get a t-shirt, shot glasses, everything. He's like early in the campaign, well, I got to shut this down so I can get that stuff made, and, you know, kind of they're cut off for orders. We're still waiting on the book. He could have left that up and sold how many more? I was going to buy another one just for a friend. He shut it down.
I wanted one of those hats, dude. I wanted one of those Black Flag hats.
I know, right? And he just shut it down early, and he didn't even at that time think that it's going to take a lot longer to produce.
I like Dan, dude. Like, Dan's the man.
I do too. Nothing wrong with him.
As far as like,
but I do think that hurts a lot of the crowdfunding scene when you have late projects, extremely late projects, and they don't update on their projects. Now, me, I'm out there daily. You know, I don't send out updates because I am the update. I'm out there in front of the camera every day telling you what you see, what I am working on, what I'm not working on, what I'm going through. You know, people want to be invested in your daily life. That more than anything you can produce is what they care about. It's all about people, Matt.
Oh yeah, it's good to do that. I know Dan too. He does do the Professionals, right? He still does that show, or?
Yeah. Yeah, now
Okay.
he's on that. Yeah.
I got some updates from him too recently. I know that he's putting a lot into the book and really trying to make sure it's like the book could have been out and it would have been fucking immaculate, but for him it has to be like. I was wondering, man, like what was some of your artistic influences growing up, man? Like who were you really inspired by?
What really got me started was George Perez, Avengers. Just I mean, even over Jack Kirby covers, who's this Kirby? He's not as good as, stupid me. I mean, aesthetically, I just thought George Perez was it, especially, and this was his early stuff, which was a little rougher, unrefined. As he went along, I didn't like his stuff quite as much as
like
when
the rough
he polished it.
stuff.
I kind of like that early, hey, I'm learning type stuff.
I like
it was simple.
Someone was saying too, like when you're doing, like, I wish I had the opportunity to make comics in the mainstream because just to see like who you are as an artist, because they say like when you're working in the mainstream doing like deadlines and having those books come out, you really see who you are, and like you develop a short, quick style of what you are.
When I was a kid, my cousin drew a
quick,
character.
Like that thing with his,
when I was a kid,
he was drawing so much.
I see things that come slowly to me. It's like, it might say next issue at the end, this happens. Okay. It didn't quite register to me where to get comics, and eventually I went into pharmacy. My grandfather was in the hospital, and this is when you could leave your kids unattended, folks. I'm going over the hospital, which probably took her about 30 minutes. Right. So I really had time to look down that rack on everything, pick you out something. And so I could pick out one comic, and I got and George Perez, I might as well get as many characters and bang for my buck. Right. So I got the Avengers. Then we went back 2 weeks later, and I got the very next issue without even knowing it. I was drawn to the George Perez stuff and all those characters, and didn't even know it. When I got out, I said, hey, this is the next issue. I'm going to collect it from here on. That's my exact words. And that's what I did. I didn't miss an Avengers. It was rare I would miss an Avengers issue. It was like a couple years later, I finally found X-Men, because not all the newsstand stuff that was the great thing about, newsstands or pharmacies or groceries. You could just, as a kid, go in there snotting,
liquor store,
and go, oh wow, Kryptonite, Krypton, Superman, Batman, cool. Gotham. You could discover a new world.
So fun.
Now you can't do that.
No, man. Even the liquor store I used to walk up to, man. The liquor store I walked to, like, it was called Sportsman. It has a, it had a big grizzly bear on the fucking painted airbrush on the side of the liquor store, and it had heads of deer inside there. You go in there and it's got Denny Moore beef stew and beans and soda, and it was everything in there. And you go in there. I love that. And they had Cracked, they had Mad Magazine, they had a couple DC and a couple Marvel books, and I could go in there and could pick them up, and it was small, it was so tiny, and we would walk there to and from school and get our hot Cheetos and drinks and whatnot, and it's fucking gone now. It's closed. It's still there, but people just park in the parking lot.
Literally, I put a splash page in my comic, in my Devil Flyer story. I got together with John, who we had kind of, we went to some conventions. We went up to Chicago a couple times in 85, 86. Great years to go, because DC was celebrating their 50th anniversary. The next year, Marvel was celebrating their 25th anniversary. Got to meet Stan Lee in 86, because it was their 25th anniversary. Got to meet George Perez there, the guy who got me kind of started on a regular basis.
Your main inspiration, right? He was your main inspiration, right? Was George Perez,
I
right?
even got a chance to ask him, and he's like, "Oh, I don't do that anymore." As far as convention drawings, he was. But I think later in life he did do that. And one of these days, when I have some pocket change, I'll go on eBay and I'll find me some George Perez, and I do have books signed by him and other things. It's really makes it personal, when you go, would you sign this?
Oh yeah, totally. My buddy Miguel.
Yeah. At that time, Stan Lee, he charged big amount, whatever, to sign something when he was older, right? But then he was doing it for free signature. They were limiting it to one, and this young kid took advantage of it right in front of me. He was like, 6 comics.
Boom.
And Stan signed all 6.
Do you know my buddy?
Like, get out of my way so I can get Stan, ask him a question, and because I'm a little kid too right now. I was about 19, 20. She-Hulk #1. And I, out of all the Marvel books, what do you have him sign? First appearance, She-Hulk. First thing he'd written in a long time. The book had been out a couple years by that point, ran for 25 issues. John Buscema artwork, How to Draw the Marvel Way. So, and I went up there wanting to get like Golden Age comics. So I got some of the Golden Age comics. And then like that year, I'm looking through it. I go back to the motel room, right? And I'm looking through them. And it's John Romita Sr.
Oh, nice.
Early artwork. In fact, I wrote last year, Glenn Fleming asked me to write an article, which I did for his sort of quarterly magazine in the UK. So I'm now internationally published. I'm on Amazon. I'm in books. I'm on Barnes and Noble. At least that issue is available, with something I wrote. I only started writing around 2017. I was caregiving for an elderly gentleman. He was a millionaire, but didn't live like it. And I always considered myself an artist. Not a writer. But I had to be up during the night, and I did start out drawing, but then, he would call me in and I'd have to stop and stuff. So I just started writing. Things would come to my mind. I started writing. I was like, I am pretty good at this, I think, and I think God was just preparing me for, look, if you're going to do your comics and you don't want to have to hire a writer, you better learn how to write. I mean, or at least express yourself. And I've never had a problem with that. So, I started. And when I came on the scene, I think a lot of people said, because I was employing other artists to get me, because we didn't just birth Devil Flyer the comic the other day. We birthed the whole universe, Momentum universe, which is my Marvel, which is my DC, which is my Dark Horse, my Image, my Eclipse, my Pacific Comics, whatever, your jam was, that's something. And I can't wait to fill up at least one of these shelves of nothing but of stuff than what I produced.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
I want a lunchbox. I want an acrylic standee. And I don't care if it's my lamest ass character I've ever done. It's still my character.
Yeah, it's yours, man. And that's cool too. You're talking about signing, dude. I was about to say my buddy Miguel, like whenever I go with him to Comic-Con, he makes writers draw a picture. He fucks them up. He's like, hey, can you do a little sketch real quick? But I'm a writer. He's like, yeah, just whatever the fuck. Just
I'll tell you, Justin Belmont's done that too. He's got like Mike Barron, he's a writer, or he's gotten some of the writers even. I mean, Justin Belmont's got an awesome original artwork, collection.
Oh, okay, cool. I got to get his book too, man.
My first collection, which was I guesstimate about 16,000, about 45 long boxes. 1997. The guy that I was renting the place from burned it down for the insurance.
Oh, mother!
And
what a piece of work.
John Byrne original artwork. The comics, the memories. But all that's replaceable because it's mass produced. I had one of a kind stuff. The original artwork. That was the real loss. I had and I got it up there in Chicago when I went up those couple of years. But and I jumped track. I got those Golden Age books signed by Romita Sr. He said he and his wife was with him that first year, and then his son was with him the next year.
JR.
Yeah. And he turned around and said, look, Virginia, we were dating when I was drawing this, it was like early 50s, like 1952. What an experience to, he was
be there.
leaping through. He hadn't seen it since he drew it in the 50s. And this was like mid 80s.
Yeah. And you
that he was looking at it again.
Repressed memory, That's crazy
Yeah.
too. You were talking about you're kind of writing. You're starting to write, man. Like you're having to write now. Like
I'm writing
me
all
too.
the stories in my book. Yeah.
Me too. Like I'm in the same boat you are. I'm
Mhm.
writing too, and I'm a learning writer. Mark Barron says you got to shit out like a million words or a million stories before
Yeah.
you become, and I'm in that process too. What are some of the things that you do, to get you motivated to
I
write? Do you have
storyboard,
like
I
a
thumbnail. I like the thumbnail. I tried with Devil Flyer, I
uh
tried the Marvel method, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, Ditko.
Me too.
Give me
Yeah.
a plot. But then I was like, oh, his mouth is closed. I don't like to put a word balloon, so it's working. I said, I'll never do this again. I do it a little bit different. I did it. I just tweaked it a little bit. I storyboarded it, and then
hmm
I guess I'm still doing it the same way. Um, and I could have had this done a lot quicker, to tell you the truth. John Felendez, my neighbor
hmm
and friend since 1982. We've been friends for over 40 years. Um,
That's
I
crazy.
met him. They were doing homemade comics, and my
Mm,
mother saw that at the library. She still went to the library just up to a few years ago, and she saw these homemade comics, and I got a hold of Dave Snow, who I later, before I got out of high school, when I was 16, 17, we opened up a comic book store. We
that's
closed it
awesome.
down like after about 8 months, but
Oh
that was
fuck.
at the advent of the um, direct market, where there were only some comics going to the comic stores and not hitting the
Mm,
stands. Little
yeah.
did I know that within 5 years that would kill comics. I mean, it was a slower thing than that, but it was within 5 years, there's a drop off a newsstand dramatically. By
Yeah.
the time, it reaches 2000, newsstand books are about 1% of the print run. You know, um, I would say the early directs from 77 to 83, 84 are the ones to collect over the newsstand because they're rare. But then after that, you want the newsstands, starting
Oh
with
yeah.
1997. 1996, 85, they had about the same print run. And you might want to collect the ones that
Mm,
were not newsstand, because they're probably in better shape because they were in comic stores. But then maybe not, because we thumb through stuff and damage it all the time, right? But
when
yeah, I just so I've seen, owning a store, what that side of it is, that's kind of invaluable too. I just always,
yeah, that's cool.
wanted to do that. And um our store, I started the first one here in town. It was called the Chamber of Comics. We got a little core
That's
group and
cool.
was doing well with it, could continued with it, ran into a snag, and I was still in high school, so I was only half the partnership, so I had to dissolve it and go on. But then, we went to conventions, and it was more about the creators back then. It was lovely. You could meet a Stan Lee up close. You could meet a Jim Shooter, or, whoever. And
Just
you
walk
could
right up to
meet
them.
some of those legends that were
Yeah.
gray haired like me at that time and still alive. Jack Kirby was still alive. I just never went to a convention where he was.
When you're
And,
writing your
if I had
stories,
to do it, huh?
mhm. Let's say when you're writing your stories, do you type it up, or how do you go about doing that? Do you go full script or what?
Different ways. I mean, I might just think of it and not want to storyboard it out. I did an Interman story like that a year or
Mhm.
so ago, which will be in Devil Flyer. And
Yeah.
it's lengthy, and I had to stop because I wasn't storyboarding it out. I don't know how much space in the comic this is going to take,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Like
So
for
I
me, like
said,
when I'm
I've got a good start. I can pick
yeah,
it up from where I left it off. And so I was just scripting then.
yeah, the script.
Usually,
So you're
though,
scripting
Matt,
it, huh?
what I'll do is storyboard it out and think
Mhm.
of the cinematic shots that I want. Kind of
Nice.
like in
Yeah.
Devil Flyer, when I say
Okay.
splash page, I probably drew this, I believe. I don't know what issue, maybe Amazing Spider Man. Spider Man's all chained up, and he's
Yeah.
kind of like cement shoes, they throw him in the drink to
Yeah.
drown. As a kid, when I turned that cover and saw that on the stands, I was immediately into the story. I said, "That's
Yeah, and growth.
cool, Spidey
Yeah.
being drowned." I was immediately
Right.
in the story. So I did that with my own character, Devil Flyer. and you know what? I read Devil Flyer story recently, setting up the campaign again, because it's been a while. I don't just sit around and read a 28-page story that I wrote all the time. And I know what's going to happen, but it tricked me, Matt. It's like you don't get back. You totally forget that he's thrown into the water, because then I go bam into a 2-page spread of him over, looking all heroic over the city, and then the story continues, and you don't get back. How does he get into the water? You totally forget about that first page by page 16, where they throw him in the water. I was like, oh, I forgot he was thrown in the water. It fooled me, and I wrote it. It's a good device,
Oh yeah, man. Like for me,
you gotta. I would say the splash page is just as important as the cover. When that kid or whoever opens that, it should grab them by the balls immediately and not let go till the last page.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I agree 100%. Like I'm really big on that. That I've been thinking about the same thing, dude. I'm working on a book now, and like, oh man, I really want that first page to hit really hard. That's always like a paramount thing for me. But also when I type up a whole script, dude, and I have like exactly what I'm gonna have in the panel, but I type it up and I print it out and I staple it. But that shit can be ripped up and whatever the fuck. But I write in it and do whatever, but I have it there,
Was Butch Cleaver in your books? I guess they were perfect mound. I've seen a lot of people do perfect mound books. Mine's going to be stapled. That's what I liked about Jason Bascom. We mentioned him. His was stapled. I just like that it's going to be open up, and in the process
of it, right? The gutter expansion.
Yeah, John drew it. He didn't want there to be printing problems, so he drew it. And you got to give a little bit of gutter right around every page for printing, because it's going to cut some of that off. He drew it, to comic book size.
Yeah.
Which is very small to work.
Yeah, tiny.
But he's a great designer, and but when I got a proof that was magazine size, I said, this is what I envisioned. Big, epic, but I'm going to have to blow it up to magazine size. So that's what I've done with this first issue. The rest of them won't be magazine size. But but this one has to almost be magazine size, because I want that epic feel, and you don't get it if you shoot it down smaller,
Well, I mean, and that kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier in the stream. It's like bringing something different, with each campaign, like I kind of want to do that. I want to fuck with like sizes and stuff on each book I do. You know what I mean? This one right now, I'm doing a big magazine size. The dimensions.
Well, look at Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles was up and down and magazine and small and large, and if you look at one,
and that's fine,
about regular size. 2 was magazine size. 3 was even another kind of size.
Frank Miller. Look at Holy Terror. Holy Terror is a fucking rectangle. Then you look at 300. 300's like it's a fatter rectangle. You know what I mean? I'm doing a fucking square in my next thing. So it's just different ways to cartoon.
Well, you remember probably Ferret #1. That was a die cut cover. They even did Protectors was Malibu, and I was talking to the guy that worked with Malibu today over on Luke's channel, and they had a force beam issue that had a die cut hole all the way through, so every page had a hole in it.
So cool.
Where he's bleeding out, it just showed
so
the character's chest. And,
immersion.
Right. I mean, it was gimmick covers, but
that's immersion, bro.
It's like nothing that had been done before. I'd been collecting a long enough time. They were thinking out of the box. Neil Adams did a die
The Last Dead Man. Dude, his last work, I think it's his last work, but the Last Dead Man work for sure. Every fucking cover was something different. Like one was glow in the dark. One was like you turn it upside down and there's like images that you put together. Like, oh man, I love it.
And I'm doing something like that on this campaign on the back cover though.
Okay.
And I didn't plan that out, but then as you're putting things together, things come together, right?
That's the point. You never want to shackle anything down. And that was like what I was talking about earlier too when I'm writing my script.
Don't be afraid to reimagine, man. A lot of people are like, no, they change it. And I can't change it.
No, you're right.
And I've had, you've had Neil Adams level people do free because they're trying to help the guy out. You know,
Oh yeah.
level stuff. Here's a cover for you. Well, I like mine better. Yeah, but yours is not nearly as good. You need to recognize that. But I like mine better. Okay. It's your comic. You make it like you will. But you're not going to do the sales as you would with this guy's work.
Oh yeah,
You know,
definitely.
you're just, you know, I'm
and
sorry.
you're not at that level. You're not at that level yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's
and
just
you
like,
got to
hey,
recognize that. And a lot of creators are like, no, this is my baby.
Well, and if you're
And
lucky,
I got to
way,
admit,
you're gonna
I
bring
was
in them
starting
people.
out a couple years ago, Matt. That was me to a certain extent. I wanted to do it all, even though I got my good friend to draw it. You know, I felt like I'm writing the story. I, you know, storyboard it out. So when you see John Dillard's work, I designed that with him, or I showed him what I wanted. I want to be able to take a monocle of credit. Now, there's many ways that you can do a scene. You know, he may make it, the artist may make it more dramatic, but I still came up with the pacing and the screenshot of it, you know. And if I have something very specific,
fun, interactive,
if I have guys, you know, something like very specific in a vision, I'll tell them I want it exactly like this.
Yes, exactly. No, that's cool, man. Like that's cool. I think it's fucking dope when people like when artists get together like that. You know what I mean?
Well, I didn't want to collaborate, but then I was like, if I'm going to build a whole universe, I need a whole host of artists.
I think eventually you're going to start kind of really liking it more, you know? Like
I do now. You bet.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was the same way, Rex. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was.
And one thing I did, Matt, when I came on, it's like you know, Butch Cleaver wasn't one of them, unfortunately. But then when I started really getting into production, it was sucking all my money. I couldn't back the campaigns. That Trump money, that Biden check, whatever, I spent it all on CG. I said, you know, if I said, if I maybe wrongly so, you know, because some of the bigger creators maybe not even notice me, but you know, I said I can't have any street clout and expect them to back my book if I haven't backed their books, you know, some of their books. So, you know, I back some projects, you know, heavily.
Oh, that's cool, man. Like, and I try to back as many books as I can. You know what I mean? You can't get them all the time. I mean, sometimes you circle around and you can't back them because they're not around, and you got to go back another book, and then someone comes in and I only got 30 days. You got to back it now. And you got to go in and back it.
Yes, I probably got Jason. I haven't looked, but I probably got Jason and some others that I interact with all the time back my book from day one. But most of them are consumers. Some of them I know because they come in the chat and said, I never bought a comic, but yours is going to be my first. I think I've had two people on this campaign tell me that. You know what that does? That's their first comic.
Even one person that tells you that,
I know.
That's what everybody, that's what we all need.
That's what you dream for.
Yeah, that's what the whole, like, you're bringing. So you just brought somebody into the fucking, you know, the anti-cancel pig network.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, dude, you know what I mean? Like, that's huge. You know, that's exactly what we need.
And it's not so much that they appreciate the work. They appreciate the effort I put into it and what I bring to them every day on my channel, you know. And
well, shoot, man. And speaking of that, like, maybe we should jump into your campaign, Devil Flyer, man. I got the link right here. If you like, I could share it, or
go ahead and share it.
Oh, for sure, man. All right,
let you
play the.
We're running out of time, Matt. We only got about 10 minutes. What the hell? I get 10 minutes to talk about my campaign shit.
Oh, you got longer than that if you want. It's up to you.
Okay. All right.
It's up to you, brother. We got it right here.
Yeah.
Devil Flyer.
Abigail. That's Abigail, my dog, my love and joy.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, look at that, man. 4 days.
$2,000, man. That's fucking awesome, dude. You should be proud of yourself.
I've never made $500 a day in my no, I don't think. Yeah, I've had some good paying jobs, but not that good.
Can I play your trailer?
You bet.
Well, here we go, brother.
Let's do it.
Hold on your butts.
Let's go all metal.
Oh, It's metal.
You know, Matt, everybody's got an opinion about your book, but it has to be your vision.
Oh yeah, no, it always has to be your vision. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like, well, I don't give a fuck anyway. But
The
you have
most
to make the book
important
for
thing
you,
we've
for
talked about
yourself.
tonight is what we were talking about before we even came on, and a little bit while we've been streaming. You have to think out of the box. You have to be a risk taker.
Yeah, risk taker. You got to gamble,
Mhm.
and then, but at the same time, like for your work, an artist has to create for themselves, and a writer has to create for themselves. I consider a writer and artist
And you have to
symbiotic.
make friends
We're
along
both
the way,
artists.
because friends
Oh, yeah,
are, you know, not just backers, but other
definitely.
creators. They will help you out. Jason was like, well, I don't know how to navigate this. And he would take that time out in a stream to show me. That's invaluable when somebody takes their time to show you what you don't know. You know,
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
just
there's
give
nothing
me a
wrong with that.
fish, but show me how to fish. And then I can feed myself and be self reliant.
So Rex, can you tell us
Yes.
a little synopsis about this magazine for anybody that doesn't know?
Well, Devil
Devil
Flyer was
Flyer.
born in 1899. I wanted an interesting character, kind of like he was, when I created the character, I have older characters, some going all the way back to the 70s, Matt. But he was born in 1899. Now I have an attention thing. If you start moving that, I know you're trying to show it, but that distracts me. Sorry about that. I learned that on another stream recently. It was like, can we stop this? Because I can't talk and watch this at the same time. I always got car sick, you know, motion sickness.
I'll leave it
My brain, my eye could not follow the motion. So I get
right.
nauseated and sick. This doesn't make me nauseated, but it does distract me. Sorry. I know you're just trying to show the campaign, but yeah, I've got much older characters. I created Devil Flyer in 2017.
Nice.
I gave him a devil's sort of gothic devil's tale, right? That's
Yeah.
inspired by Kurt Wagner, the Nightcrawler from the X-Men.
Okay.
I wanted a character that was kind of a Doctor Strange character.
Okay.
Believe it or not, and Spawn.
Wow. Okay.
Sort of a resurrected character. And if you'll go down one more cover,
let's see here.
He turned out to be, because I'd been with John Dillard, I leaned in to the fire aspect, right?
I love that Dillard cover, man. That Dillard cover just fucking, man, he just brought that shit to like, wow.
Oh, yeah, I think we've sold like 21 of his cover so far.
Oh, really?
This one here is, it's a watercolor, but it's a little light on the coloring. The gray should be darker. This is kind of a robin blue. It should be more of an ultramarine blue, but this is kind of between us. And then you see the green, the trident green, even the wings are green, which really they're white, but energied up. They're that sort of Spawn energy, right? He was born in 1899, and so that means, you know, I kind of did that where he could be born not even in the 20th century, because I was born in the 20th century, but something exotic, you know, but not too far into the 1800s.
Right.
So he's born in 1899. That would have put him, you know, very young, but able to fight at the end of World War I and to fight in World War II. So he's fought in World War I and World War II. part of his backstory, which has not been shown yet and will not be shown for years to come. Because after I get done with this current arc, I said, what can I go into that's going to be epic? And by then, people are really going to be into Devil Flyer. What can I do to top that? Tell his origin. Tell his origin, you know, and by then I'll have all his origin worked out. To produce something, Matt, you don't have to have all the answers yesterday. You just have to give yourself time. And I know different people think at different speeds. Sometimes I have to put it in my brain, let it grow a little bit, and then within a few hours or the next day, I've got it.
Oh yeah, for sure. You gotta let it germinate. Like me, I'm not gonna do origins anymore. Like my second Butch Cleaver book, it's all about the origin.
Right.
But I think when you give them the origin, it loses the mystique of the character. Like
they
you
did
look
that
at
with
Logan.
Wolverine for 20 years. He was a mysterious Clint Eastwood, the man with no name character, and then they just nailed that thing down to one thing and showed the slasher movie gore of the 80s. They actually showed the knife penetrating the flesh. Speaking hypothetically, that's okay, but I prefer the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Leave it up to your imagination. Let your mind fill in the gaps, kind of like radio theater of the mind. Suggest, don't show sometimes is more effective because your mind can fill in when you nail it down, it can only be one thing. But when you kind of leave it ambiguous, and especially in horror comics, you want to leave it ambiguous because we are afraid of the unknown.
100%, man.
If we hear,
I'll never do that again. I'm not gonna. I mean, not for a long time. I won't give the origin of my character away.
If we hear something like scurrying, some kind of noise, it could be a harmless cat. It could be a rat. It could be something that would eat your face off. You don't know. But now, if it's a cute little bunny,
around the floor. Yeah.
Yeah. But once you know, I don't have to be afraid of that. It's just a bunny in the house,
Yeah.
So, I and John, we got together and I pitched him I said, if I wrote a Devil Flyer story, would you do it? Yes. For 8 months, I pitched him all kinds of sci-fi thing, why don't you draw them up on the space station and I will play to my strengths in the more organic shapes and you do sort of the technical space station, more factory utilitarian, perspective and stuff. And I'll go down on the planet where there's more rounded organic shapes and plants and stuff, which is my strong suit, and play to my strengths. And we'll split it up into 2 different teams. I was trying to do some of the work and have him, and that's just one ideal. And he was going for 8 months. No. And I was like, well, I want to do something with him. I want to get a book out because, I want to crowdfund. I want to do this. And it's like, there was one thing he said yes to, Devil Flyer. So we did Devil Flyer and thought I could launch it a couple years ago. And I said, you know what? To be epic, and I think, reality check to do the bank that I want to do, I need to take some time, put some backstories in it. After all, that's the ultimate goal, not to just do a one and done with one character, but to create a whole universe. So I took time to build a universe around Devil Flyer, which has been built for decades, with the creation of every new character. I just awesome. Have yet to put words in their mouths.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, man. You got a favorite metal band?
No, I knew you were gonna. I like some of the. I like Y&T.
Mm-hmm.
I like. This might not be metal to you, but I like. I did go see Doc, and I think it was Was it Dokken or Croken? I don't know. And
Dokken.
Well, it was a 3 for you had Twisted Sister, and you had Y&T. I was going to go see Y&T.
Yeah, that's metal.
I like Zebra. I, you know, I like Judas Priest.
They're metal.
Yeah.
They're like one of the
Okay,
first
there you
metal
go.
bands.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, you know, I grew up with Kiss, of course, and
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, metal. Oh, that ain't metal. Okay, you know, Silent Lucidity or something like that. But
They're metal. That's Queensryche. They're prog metal.
yeah, Queen's right. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
know like Jason
Metal
Bassman,
is
he's like Tool,
vast,
and
dude. There's
he
so
knows
many different.
all these bands, and Luke, Death Metal Hero, he knows all that stuff. But
Yeah, metaldom's huge, dude. It's
yeah,
like there's so many
my
different
metal would be more
subgenres, you know?
commercial, you know, metal. I guess you like
Yeah.
Judas Priest or something.
Yeah, I like Painkiller. To me, that's their
Yeah.
best song, the best cover, the best art,
Yeah.
and the best album that I've heard from them, Painkiller. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, this is going to be the artist edition artwork, you know, while putting the
I lo-
campaign.
Fucking badass, dude. Like,
Well,
I
you
love
know,
Dillard's
the
art,
way
though, man.
this came about, was he was sending me updates of what
Mhm.
as he worked on it. And
Oh,
this is
okay.
just a low res scan. I'm going to have to ask him, please send me a high res scan.
Mhm.
While we were cobbling together this campaign very quickly because we
This
were
is low
running out of
res?
time. Huh?
This is a low res scan?
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, that shit looks pretty good for low res. I can tell you
Yeah.
that.
And so I said, why don't we do an artist edition, black and white? You know, I got a lot of black and white people out there that like black and white.
Yeah,
I know I
that's all
do.
I do now. That's all I
See,
do now.
there's that Spider-Man scene done with Devil Flyer, you know?
Ooh, I see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Underneath.
It gets you right into the story from page 1.
So I have the
He's-
Devil Flyer ash can. Like, some of this is gonna be in there a little
Oh
bit.
yeah. I mean, I did the first 7 pages of the Devil Flyer story in the ash can.
That's dope.
And
Okay.
and then I did pinups of like all my other characters, you know, of well, not all of them, but some of the
Couple.
principal characters
Nice.
that'll be in Devil Flyer. So he's saying, what can I say? And you turn the page, 2-page spread. He says, and then I do a quote from Thomas Paine, a founder of America. He says, these are the times that try men's souls. And we're being tested. We're being tried, Matt, every day. Just turn the news on.
Oh, 100%.
We need heroes, though.
We do, man. We do need heroes that are heroic, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, not to side quest too much, but I'm gonna do it because if it's gonna come up in my stream, I'm gonna fucking talk about it. We need villains that are fucking villains. You know what I mean? That
right.
That are there's no
your hero
there's no
is
social
only
redeeming
as
value
good as your villain. You gotta have a good rogue.
We need evil. We need pure fucking evil. I don't want too much. I want to maybe a tidbit of backstory, but I don't want to sympathize with the villain at all. I don't. I want to hate the villain.
Well, at this
you know
point, it's a brand new character, and I like that ambiguity. You assume he's a hero, but you know, the next issue I do after this fairly quickly, because this one's almost done, is going to make you question whether he is a hero or villain. He's a flawed individual, like we all are. It's a redemption arc. He's made a Faustian deal with the devil. He's unleashed Pandora's box on the world again, if you will, and evil is sliding in, and he's gathering up this Avengers or Justice League team to fight this great evil. And in the very first one, he's fighting San Marco there, sort of a Nick Fury, you know, lost one eye patch type guy. And he's a mafioso leader in Chicago, and he's trying to get deeper into this organization, sort of like Spectre or Blofeld from Bond, and he's trying to get in deeper, you know, than what he is. And so it's not just San Marco, it's a whole crime family. His whole family is in this. So you see his 2 sons in this. And I know John, even when he was drawing it, didn't make it that way. It was just while I had the artwork. See, I put the dialogue and wrote the story lastly. I thumbnailed out what I wanted to happen. As he was working on it, I added a couple pages. He added a couple pages later, and we wound up with what we wound up with.
That's awesome, man. Like for me, I have like placeholder, you know, dialogue, you know, and there's certain like for my books, you know, like there's that. and then I'm gonna put more in, or I'm gonna take some out.
Well, certainly when
you
I
know?
thumbnail out things like on
Yeah.
Grave Tales that Doc Blaylock did on this, the clown, the story's not so much about my character
Oh,
Bog as it is about the killer clown.
yeah,
Uh,
dude.
he says nothing's fun anymore. So
Yeah,
that's,
Grave Tales.
what a strong piece of dialogue, for a character as he kills children,
Oh, it's so fucking creepy, dude. And that's something too that like right off the bat, like I didn't grasp. It was like this is a fucking magazine, dude. And you got multiple tales. It's and I like
Yeah.
that, man.
It's not an anthology per
no,
se, but then it kind of reads like and all these are, you can absolutely one and done stories,
yeah, I love those, dude. I love that. Like that's what I
because
aim to do
we're not on a
myself.
monthly basis here. You can say to be
Exactly.
continued, but you're going to have to wait a year before you get another issue. So you
Yeah.
got to be able to keep it brief, and
No,
say
you got to
what you
keep it
want.
brief. Make a nice. Like I agree with you 100%, man.
But
Like
hook people
hook them in,
to where they want to come back.
and maybe possibly leave like a tiny minuscule breadcrumb on the back burner. Like, let's be real, bro. With a lot of these 90% of these characters that we make up, we have like shit lined up for more shit, for more stories for that character. So you have a one and done story, but then you have a tiny little thing in there.
Well,
That way
this is
people
the
can get the whole.
bystander. He's my watcher. He's my cosmic watcher within this universe. He's got cosmic power.
Oh, this is yours. You had Rex draw this character. This isn't. Or I'm sorry, Rex. You had Doc Blaylock draw this character. This is your character in the Devil Flyer universe.
Yep.
Okay,
I'll show you a piece that Vic King did for me for an ad that I'm going to put in Alterna. He's kind of my cosmic character. That
Vic did that.
Vic.
Damn, dude, that's a good piece Vic did right there, man.
Leave room for dialogue up here.
He did a good job, dude.
So I want this cosmic feel. This is the story we're working on now. The final story of the book.
I think Vic's pieces, man, are like some of Vic's best pieces. Like, if not a lot of his best ones, are for you, man. Like, he's done some really fucking good pieces for you.
Yeah, he had most of the pinup section in my ash can.
You guys collaborated a lot. Like, I'm sure you like extensively talked to him about what you wanted.
Over 60 pieces I commissioned him for. He's working on.
Because I remember, man, like it was fun watching you guys like talk about stuff live, dude. Like you guys don't really do that no more.
Yeah.
But it was fucking fun, dude. Just like watching you, like, nah, Vic, I don't like that, and Vic's like, no, cool, Vic, and Vic's like, yeah, no, okay, I'll do that. Like just hearing you guys,
and I want to get that because you get to see the creative process.
And I love the creative process. I love the fucking disagreement. I love all that, and I love the fucking magic that comes out of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't do that. No one does that live. And like, thing with Vic, he draws live, and stuff, and it's just cool, man.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
So, Bystander, he's going to be in a lot of different stories. He's going to be in another story besides this one. This story here was done in 2022. The Devil Flyer story was done in 2022. I've just been trying to get a backlog enough to put, together a thing. As you know, Matt, it's very expensive unless you're doing it all yourself. And then your time is your money that you're spending.
Time is money. No, I'd say that all the time, Rex. Time is, well, I mean, how much
and we're going to do something very exciting. I can't tell you about the coloring of this story, but the coloring is going to help. I mean, I'm doing it like Schindler's List where the clown is colored.
Okay.
He's the only thing colored. The rest will be in black and white and grayscale, but the clown and the balloons will be colored, making it even more creepy.
Inside the book that we're gonna back, that it's gonna be like that.
But it does have a surprise ending. Trust me.
I love it, man. I love what you're doing.
Don't you like he's grabbing him by the face there, and you see the panic in his face?
It's scary, man. I love
reaching out for you.
I love Doc's work, man. He just keeps getting better and better. And there's more right here.
Yep. That's my Blofeld character, that director down there in the middle and below with the glasses.
I gotta say, man, like you got some of the best like characters, dude, in the fucking scene, man. Like, I don't know, like a lot of people haven't been preview to what I had seen. Like you had so many fucking cool characters, like you and Vic King, man.
Yeah.
That should be like a thing like the Vic King and Rex fucking character design files. Like like the I don't know, dude. Like I just love. I'm really excited for your world, dude. I got your ash can, and I am gonna back this book too. I haven't backed it yet,
Oh, cool.
but I will.
Yeah,
And I'm looking forward to it.
If you'll scroll down a little bit more, it'll say Critical Blast. They're fulfilling it, so it will absolutely be going out on time. That's
like
the
that.
first stretch goal. That's done by the artist John Falandes, my good friend. He's like in his early 70s, Matt. You're never
That's awesome, dude.
I mean, he's been reading comics since the 50s, early 60s,
I like that, dude.
And then Rob Ewing, you get the second stretch go after that, a magnet of Zigzag. He's kind of my mascot, my speedster.
Yeah.
Cool. And then here below is the credits, and I've even added to the art team Glenn Fleming, Keith Gleason is lettering. This is another piece that's going to be in the book, except it won't be the credits here. It'll be the content page.
Oh, that's cool.
I had this idea of an old typewriter with, as you see here, and that a piece that I could use and reuse,
I love that. Oh, yeah. Page. For different pages and stuff.
Because when you're paying an artist like John Dillard,
yeah,
you have to think, how can I use this more than once?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Dillard. Because, I agree with you, dude. Like Dillard adds a lot of detail, and he builds worlds.
And not everybody can do this and make it look this dope.
No, like look at it's like for me, it's all about like everything on the bottom of the screen underneath the title, all the little gears or all the little bolts and nuts. And
can you pull it up a little bit?
The mech.
Not everybody's seeing that.
Oh, sorry. Let me get in there with that real quick. I got it right here. So.
Or I mean, man. just scroll up a little bit so that they see the actual workings of the typewriter.
There you go.
Wrong way.
There you go.
Look at that.
Oh shit! I didn't even see that.
Yeah, look at that.
All right. I was just talking about the little strings right here. You know what I mean?
You want to talk metal? That's metal.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to have him do another content page, and it's going to be a fire escape on the side of an old brownstone. Because architecturally, these things are interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
They're touchstones to our past, and I know Dillard can draw it. So that's
again, draw anything, yeah.
Yeah, right. If you can get an artist like that can draw anything, why not have him do it? Don't limit yourself.
Yeah, Dillard's a pro. To me, he's like a Steve McNiven,
And he's quick. He's quick.
Like you know who Steve McNiven is, right? Obviously. Like Old Man Logan artist. Like that's how
Uh-huh.
That's who to me like Dillard is,
Mm-hmm. But Doc, like Doc Blaylock, he's got like a film noir. I never considered it, but like this, John Falandes, he's kind of got a Golden Age style. It looks hand done. It doesn't look manufactured. It looks like a fun read.
I love that piece, dude. I love that whole like cover. Even just this right here, it's like looks like a fucking metal album cover.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like an old Charlton comic. Because they did a lot of that creepy horror comics type stuff, in the 70s,
for sure,
80s.
Man. Yeah. What's your favorite movie? I gotta ask you a question. What's your favorite movie?
King Kong.
Just King Kong, the original one, or the original. Jeff Bridges, or
the original. Okay. Yeah, because it was the first big monster movie. It was the Star Wars of its day. That's really disingenuous because favorite movie would probably be a Charlie Chaplin movie. My favorite Charlie Chaplin movie would be
pick three movies then. Three of your the three movies that you will watch no matter what.
City Lights from Charlton, and that's 3 Chaplin. He's the only person on the top 100 list. He made movies what they are today.
Mm-hmm.
City Lights. He was think about this. He was doing that. It's like Schindler's List, right? It's like what was The Lighthouse that came out recently? The Artist in 2011 won Best Picture. It was a black and white and silent movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Think out of the box, folks.
Yeah.
Do what everybody else is not doing. Or do it your way. Put your twist on it.
Do it your way. Yeah.
Right.
And think outside the box too and bring something new to the
table. Okay, so King Kong for creature,
Mhm.
Love Monsters, got to be, City Lights, and another one. Oh God, there's so many good movies. I mean, from the silent era.
That's why I
to,
do it. Like that's why I feel like
yeah.
people love with that, because there's like
Well, I
infinite.
mean, what do
Most
you?
of us,
I guess a feel good movie. It's a Wonderful Life.
okay. Like that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to get to. You know what I mean? Like, because I know it's hard. Most of the people that come on here, they have like 100 fucking metal bands. They have 100 movies, and they have their fucking 100
Right.
things. You know what I mean? But I always
Yeah.
like, what's the thing that you're always coming back to?
What's your
gonna
favorite movie?
What's
What's
joyous?
your favorite movie? What?
Well, for
Blazing
me, like
Saddles.
I have 3, dude. That's why I always let people pick 3. I have 3. I have
Okay, what's your 3?
Bram Stoker's Dracula, RoboCop, and Conan the Barbarian. Those are the 3 I always just kind of go to. Like
Conan the Barbarian was the first, and I even snuck in to see it. I lied about my age. I was 17. I was supposed to be 18 at a drive-in movie.
That's cool, man.
In my 67, my very first car, 67 Cutlass, white with red interior.
Oh, nice. Fucking nice.
No power steering, no power brakes.
Yeah.
But steel frame, made in America. Very safe. Only had 40-something thousand miles on it when I got it.
Very nice. Very nice.
And it was a 20-year-old car by that point. My little aunts from Pasadena used to drive in it. When I was 4 years old, we went to Texas in it.
Nice.
Yeah, sweet ride, classic.
You saw Conan in there, huh?
Yeah, we saw Conan, saw like John Carpenter's The Thing remake.
Oh, dude,
with Kurt Russell on the big, drive-in theater screen.
Yeah, dude. They have one over here, man, by my house. I wonder if it's still there anymore. They opened it up like a year or two before like the Rona hit.
We're sanitizing fun, Matt.
Yeah.
We're forgetting about the old stained carpet and the popcorn smell and the trash on the parking lot in the drive-in. We got to have an IMAX. It's got to be high. No, it doesn't. I like the graininess of it. I like putting myself. Well, dude, when I watch movies, when I watch Wizard of Oz, I take myself back and I say, what was culture like back in 1939?
Yeah, like I was saying, like. Sorry, I wrote about it, but the grain that you're talking, that's magic. It's all fucking magic.
Yeah.
As soon as you take that shit away, you strip it down, you see the pores, you see the fucking the hemlines of the
Tex Avery even did a little thing with
all
the
the makeup,
hair that
everything
gets on the film. He even did a little spoof animated thing with the hair on the film, or that white dot that used to go boop.
Boop. Yeah, in the corner, it's
on Star Wars. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
You went into a theater and the film would jam up and it would burn up and you'd see it go, oh God, that was C-3PO's face or whatever movie it was.
Yeah. That's awesome.
You'll never see that again.
Yeah,
Star Wars was the King Kong of our day. It was kind of like 9/11 was the Pearl Harbor of our day.
Yeah,
when I was 12 years old,
of the day.
I watching it 33rd week, I finally was like, I gotta come on, Mom, let's go see Star Wars. And for 33 weeks, she finally took me and my cousin. We sit all the way to the back. It was packed. We had to be in a line. It was there for like 2 years, a year and a half here in town. You'll never see that again with all the online streaming. It was an event. Some of the early TV I saw in the 60s doesn't exist anymore. Only in my brain. I want to be hypnotized. I want those memories to come back because that early TV was erased. It's gone. It was destroyed. And I got to see it. Yeah. And little did I know when I was watching it, that would be the last time I would ever see it.
Fucking crazy, dude. You saw magic before your eyes. Like I was watching King Kong with my son. The first King Kong, the movie of which you speak, the favorite movie that you love. Yeah. That movie's fucking brutal, dude. And it looks so real. I was thinking about that. Like, damn, dude, I couldn't even let my son watch all of it.
Well, like so majestic, Skull Island, it was scary. You had the monster, it's mysterious, the mist, and people.
The OG one, the black and white one. That's what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah. People, they were just puppets. They were like, they looked so real. They were like, where did they get real dinosaurs to do this movie with? It's so realistic. It was rabbit fur on a puppet.
But that rabbit fur has mass and
just
weight.
From them moving, it kind of bristled his hair. It said, oh, it's so realistic. His hair even bristles. Mm-hmm. That was just from the movement of the puppet, where the
puppets have mass and weight. and the human eye knows that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And we don't control that. That's a fucking like that's in our DNA. And we know when something is CGI, the brain just sees that and we're like, fuck that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's
So as soon
a
as we
movie coming out this year, I think, that's stop motion like that, like the
yeah,
rare, and it's been like 50 years in the making. I absolutely
well,
want to see that thing because
oh yeah,
they
buddy,
don't
yeah.
do enough. I think you get the best of both worlds. The first 3 Star Wars were the best because they were practical effects, most of it.
Yeah. Well, I
But
mean, like
now I think
they
if you do
created
a little
effects in
practical, a
some
little
ways.
digital, and mix it,
Yeah.
you get the
No, yeah,
best of
you're right.
both worlds.
I think they did that good with Hellboy. You know,
Yeah.
like for me, I'd love to make like one of my bucket list things is I'd love to make a movie on my phone, dude. I want to make probably a horror movie just because it's easy and cheap to do. You know what I mean? I want to probably get some good actors, probably go down to a local college, pick up a couple people out, you know, check out a West Side Story play and see like, you know, who could throw down and who can act, you know, and cast them in a movie.
If
You
you
know, and
look if you look at my campaign, Matt, it's all about the books. We kept it about books.
it's
You
all about
know,
the books.
yes, there's a standee, but other than that, and a tapestry right now, and yes, I just
Let's
put
go over
up a couple.
some of the tiers, bro.
Okay, well, this is I don't have the John wanted to keep the complete story artwork that he did.
Mm-hmm.
He's proud of it, and he's proud of what I've been doing with it. You know,
Yeah.
you know, get it this far. He's going to be blown away when I show him everything that we produced. He's
He
going to
hasn't
be
seen it
blown
yet.
away.
He hasn't seen it
Huh?
yet. He hasn't seen all this yet.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah, he's gonna be blown away.
He's going to be blown away. This first bundle has the only original making of. A lot of that's in that file will go in the back of the artist edition. If we earn enough on this, and we're going to have to get a lot more to earn this, but I'm going to have a special John Dillard drawn sort of Marvel 25th anniversary comic framing for the acetate. What I'm talking about is right here. Here's an example done by John Romita Jr. The outward framing with all their characters. And instead of Marvel characters, this will be Momentum characters all around here.
Oh, okay.
And then you'll see Devil Flyer in black and white here with the Momentum characters. So what we'll do is a clear plastic overlay of a dust jacket.
Oh, nice.
And he's already got this started. He's worked, you know, I just got to get him some reference for it. He's already started it. So
nice.
But we got to get it, you know. And one thing we're going to do, like I said, on the back, on John's, Devil Flyer is going to be, and it's going to be colored by John Dillard, an image by Tank Ferret, where he's lifting his trident and he's busting out of chains and lightning striking the trident in his wings. And we were going to do that as a standee, but all the feathers on the ends weren't complete. So we will do that as a standee, just not on this campaign. So we went with the John Dillard there of him flying on a standee. That'll be easier and cheaper to produce too.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
But what we're doing is on the Dillard cover, the A cover, we'll color him in the red and burgundy costume. On the Golden Age John Philandes cover, we'll color him in the sort of Spawn green energy, gray and blue costume. And then on the artist edition, it'll be in black and white. And on the blank, we have a blank for people like you that like to draw, Matt. You can buy a blank, $5 cheaper. And it'll be, I'm getting with like Shelby Robinson, Boob Dan, Jason Bascom. They do a lot of blank cover drawings, and they know what is the best paper. So I haven't confirmed with them yet, but we'll get the best paper that is the easiest to draw on, and we'll, because I can't wait to get that. That's the book I want to see. That just has the Devil Flyer logo, and then I can put anything Momentum on there I want.
Nice.
I can even make it a wraparound if I don't, you know, if I keep the back of it blank.
Definitely.
So, you know, that again is, I did not plan that, but utilizing that one drawing from Tank Ferret, doing something different with it. You know, why not depict your character in different costumes from different eras, you know?
Oh yeah, that's cool, man.
So
And then right here we
in
got the
this,
big bundle.
the big bundle, that's got the tapestry, that's got the standee, the artist edition, which is going to be at least 60 pages. And all 3 variant covers. We haven't even talked about the Jimmy Reyes variant cover, wraparound cover. Jimmy Reyes is working on a Devil Flyer heavy metal, you know,
Nice.
wraparound cover. He's doing Dragon Rage, you know. He's a professional. He's going to knock it out of the park with that. And already people are backing it sight unseen.
Then we got the just, the standard Dillard cover, $25.
Yep. 48 pages, the magazine size.
Yeah.
With all the tchotchkes, you're going to get with your order, you're going to get a Devil Flyer right now. As it stands, you're going to get a Devil Flyer charter member card.
Oh, nice.
Which means periodically, I will send you free stuff in the mail.
Ooh.
When you're not expecting it.
That's cool.
If you're a charter member, you get free stuff. Not just on this campaign, but afterwards, when you're not expecting it. That's part of the Momentum Promise. And also that you will always have a first appearance in one of my books. I think in the Ash Can I had 16 or 17 characters. First appearances. Those are rookie cards, folks. That's what makes it collectible. And once you give it a little bit of time, and rarity. And I only printed 100 of those.
Nice, man.
On this, who knows what the print run, even if it's 20,000, that's nothing when you consider there's over 8 billion people in the world. Do they all read comics? No, but a whole hell of a lot of them do. Look at the early Cyber Frog stuff shooting up there, folks.
Well, yeah, that, and then it just, like you said, you're gonna mail it off to people,
Yeah,
that's gonna bring people in, man, and let them feel the immersion, bro, of the world that you're creating.
6 a.m. Comics.
Yeah.
I've approached him to do me a sticker for this campaign.
Yeah.
A year ago.
Yeah.
I'm too busy.
He's open right now.
He put up a thing the other day, sent commissions. So he's going to be working on this Devil. I said, I'll make it easy on you. I want this image right there that John Dillard did. Just do it in your style. That way it'll go with the book. It'll go with the standee. I'll make it easy on you.
Yeah.
And so everybody and most people put 6 a.m. stickers as a stretch goal. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give it to you with the book, plus the charter member card, plus what else you get? You get if you signed up, you're going to get a full trading card, and we got a trading card
right now. You're doing sketches too, right? You're doing sketches too, right?
Oh, head sketches. Yeah, I'm doing everybody a free piece of original artwork head sketch of a character. Yes.
Fuck yeah, man. That's what's up. See, that's what I'm talking about.
If you want people to buy it, you got to make it worth their money, especially in this hard economy.
You got to build that value.
You got to make it fun above all else, and give them. I appreciate my chat because, like Amanda B, she said, all we want, Rex, is a good story. Okay, I can do that. Yeah. But I needed to hear it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Because I was thinking with this Devil Flyer story, I was pitching them. I did one Ash Can. I said, well, I want to get something out to you quick. I'll do 2 more Ash Cans in 6 months. They said, no, we just want a complete story. All right, so I had to wait.
Yeah, like Indiegogo, like the movement we're in, like Comicsgate, for the most part, they want a fucking Indiegogo 48-page, one solid story in and out. I've noted, I've got it down to a T. Like that's what they want,
Yeah.
That's cool, and it makes sense too in a way for crowdfunding, like if you're not doing a floppy or you're just kind of
well, whatever. This is the thing about making it saddle stitched or stapled is that it will open up and you'll be able to just open it up on your table and read it.
I love that. What I like about saddle stitch is that you get more art. You know what I mean?
And it's gonna have that big epic feel because it's gonna be magazine size. I can't wait to see Grave Tales blown up that big. I can't wait to see the cosmic bystander story with all the stars and cosmic stuff going on. And there's gonna be a drawn interior with a lot of people that Yeah, and cool. The other day, yesterday I said the draw up tier is going up, and Crooked Painter said, this is his 8th comic that he's been drawn into. He's the one that said, I would back a drawing tier. And I'm like, okay, we'll do a drawing tier. But I announced yesterday,
El
you
Crooked
better
Painter,
get
man.
on this
He's
drawing tier
badass.
at 175 because you're going to want to be in this because it's going to surprise you what I'm going to do.
Crooked
Plus,
Painter's a badass, man. I like Crooked
this
Painter.
is exclusive. I'm telling you this exclusively on your channel, Matt. You want to jump on this drawing tier. I can't give it away what I'm going to do, but it could catapult this into over $10,000 or higher this campaign very quickly. People are going to want to get in and drawn in this book. I'm telling you, this is going to make waves what I'm going to do. And you're going to get another book, a supplement book that is absolutely going to be, it's going to hit big time. It's going to take it to the next level. If you think the drawing tier has boosted this higher, wait till you see the supplement that's going to come with this. People are going to want this project.
Oh, for sure, man.
After I get into works and talk to the artist, which is probably going to be John Dillard, it's going to be, I'm going to give him more Dillard, but you're going to have to give me more cash. You're going to have to back this thing if you want to see more John Dillard.
Oh, 100%, man.
But get in on this drawing tier because I made an announcement yesterday on Twitter. I said this drawing tier is going up from 175 to 225 because you're going to want to get in on this drawing tier. Can't tell you what it's going to be, but it's going to be a double page spread. It's going to be awesome.
And then you got a wraparound cover too right here, right? People can buy that.
Well, that's the blank cover, but Jimmy Reyes is doing the wraparound.
Sorry, the blank cover, the sketch cover. So I could go in there.
Yep.
So like me,
you can draw your own character on there. Whatever.
Or draw Devil Flyer on there.
Or say, F Devil Flyer. I don't care.
Right? And you get all 3 covers. You got Jimmy Reyes cover.
That's been successful. I think like John Dillard in between the bundle and individual.
You got a bunch of people.
He sold like 21 of those.
And then you have some cameo drawn into here. We talked about that.
Now we just kind of put that as a placeholder. This is like some of the Devil Flyer art.
Don't pick that up. That's cool. You know what I mean? Like even having one person picking that up, dude, that's fucking huge. Having a fan come in and back that, and someone did, fucking huge.
Yeah, they're the reason I had it.
Yeah, I would do that too. Like even one person, that's fucking.
And it's going to be a double page spread, and it's all going to be about CG, baby, and people are going to eat it up. I'm going to lean hard into CG, and I might even have a patch announcement here pretty soon. And the patches are already made, folks.
Ooh, nice.
I just have to talk to RJ about it.
Put that on your battle. Put that on my battle vest. And you got the Devil Flyer Skull original artwork sketch right here, 175 bones.
One of the few pieces I have. I'm the writer, I'm the creator, and yet I don't have the artwork to Devil Flyer. I've got the preliminary large folder. I've got this piece and a few other pieces of other characters he's done, but very rare stuff.
So who drew that? Who drew that piece right there in that?
John Fernandez, the artist.
I like. Hey, bro. I like that.
And he's working on his own stuff now, but he said maybe in the future we can have a crossover with Devil Flyer. I said absolutely. You haven't seen the last of John Fernandez.
This Devil Flyer looks a little different. I'm digging this one right here.
Yeah, he's got a beak. He made him actually into like a bird man. Yeah,
he looks fucking scary, bro. And for me, he's a little more horrific metal fucking style. You know?
Yeah.
I'm digging that.
And I started out with that for $250. I did drop that to $175. I think that's fair for some very rare art, one of a kind art.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And draw and buy Abby a meal. She's hungry.
Bone,
Yeah.
And then right here we got some.
How many people have backed that? 5 people. I think 5 people so far.
Yep.
Yeah. She ain't going hungry anytime soon, folks.
You got some Doc Blaylock art right here, man. This is a cool piece right here. I really like this piece, dude. I remember you were advertising this. Like I remember this campaign, man. I remember seeing this stuff like a year ago, man. When I was
a couple of years ago, he did this artwork and had it completed in 2022.
And I was just like,
if you're going to do comics, you got to get ahead of the curve, Matt.
You have to. You have to be years ahead of the game.
You do.
I love this piece. It's fucking awesome.
And that's a big influence. I'm glad you put it that way because J. Michael Straczynski that wrote Amazing Spider-Man, but most people know him for writing Babylon 5 on TV. He said, I wrote 1,000,000 years into the future a million years in the past. I know where I've been. I know where I'm going. And I just have to tell my story in the middle.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm trying to do. My next book, I've got a story that's going to be set 250 years in the future in the Momentum universe. I've got one that's slightly told in the future. I got one that's told in the future, but set back in 1959. What? It's in the future for the character. It's called The Death of Silver Boa. Vic King's working on it now. So I start off again. The very first story about Silver Boa, which is a great character, is his last story. Immediately, you're intrigued, I hope.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I like too, though, you got a bunch of different, eras of which that people could hopefully jump in later.
There's going to be, I mean,
dude, there's only fucking 2 pieces right here by Doc, dude. You guys get in here, like you go to like some campaigns, they got a bunch, but like, man, you guys got to get in here. You only got 2 Doc pieces.
We'll be adding to it weekly, and every Wednesday on the 4 o'clock shadow, we will be adding original art by me.
Oh, hell yeah.
Sketch cards, bookmarks, whatever. I've already got this stuff produced. I just got to go get it scanned. We got to get it up. Every Wednesday, we'll be doing a new drop on the campaign. We've already, since we've launched it, put up the, we had a early bird special, but only like 22 backers. But shoot, we were almost funded. We got funded in 4 days.
Yeah, that's quick, man.
Yeah,
it's really 4 days. You're already at 2K. That's killer. Most people nowadays, like in the economy, it takes them
24 days to go, and then 30 days more if I decide to do that.
What up, Jason?
All right, there's the man, the myth, the legend. Give me some more money so I can pay Jason to do me something for this campaign. That'll really make it metal.
Yep.
Yeah. He had me on his show right after launch on Sunday, and he said, "What is the Living or Dead, the creator?" And he thought I was joking, but he said, "Who would you like to work with?" I said George Perez, but not after saying Jason Bascom. I want some Jason Bascom, and I've been hitting him up for a couple years. But money walks and bullshit talks,
Oh yeah, Jason's fucking awesome, man. He's a visionary, and he's the homie, man. He came in and my first campaign, he fucking knocked out a trading card. We did a limited quantity. There's not too many of them.
One thing, Matt, is you just I try and work to the artist's strength. So now I just have to come up with some dope ass character or something that will suit his style.
No, that's what Brian Kreisgau does too. Like when he's writing books, he always
trying to squeeze and get the most out of every artist I work with.
We got to figure out people like some artists like tech and manga and sword and sorcery and
Jason says I'm pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just people have different. People want to draw.
He's got a new campaign coming up. If you didn't catch his Absolute, you missed out. Absolute 1 and 2, and he's got Frog G. It's been shadow banned. You got to help a guy out. Anybody needs the link, I'll give him the link.
So we got to all come over to Fund My Comic. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's going to take time. Fund My Comic's going to take a couple. It might. Take
I signed exclusive with them, and they're only charging me 2%.
It's getting bigger and bigger.
They're only charging me 2%. Plus, they help me advertise.
The creators got to come over, but more importantly, the backers, the Comicsgate. Comicsgate, if you're watching, dude, everyone at Comicsgate, backers, whatnot, you got to come over to Fund My Comics. You guys got to start backing over here, man. Fuck Indiegogo, fuck Kickstarter. I mean, we might do that because there's people like that are over there, fans. We might do camp over to Fund My Comic. That way, people can fucking. Really help the creator get more than just fucking.
People were going, we need our own platform, or we're being shadow banned. We need our own. And then Luke comes out with it, and they're like,
No, I mean it's past that point now. It's been
it is now, yeah.
It's been 6 months now. So fans of Comicsgate, Indie Comics, Iron Age,
and
whatever
see
the fuck,
again,
come over. That's what we got to do.
Waiting is not necessarily a bad thing on your project, because in that time he's got the cart up there now. He's added to the platform.
No,
I jumped on very early. My My
Yeah.
number with Luke is 48. I was the 48th person to get on board with Fund My Comic. I could have
Yeah.
got on earlier than that, but I was vacillating
Yeah, I could have been on.
too.
I could have been on day one if I wanted to, but you know, I'm
Yeah.
just. I don't know. But you guys got to come over, man. That's where we have to be on
If
Fund
we
My
want to
Comic.
grow it, you bet.
And I know it's annoying and it's hard and things aren't easy in the bank thing, but if you can, please come over. That's the main thing. It's like some people can't do there's some things about the banking that's why they're still on Indiegogo and they haven't fully came over. I finally figured it out. There's a lot of cats that are still on Indiegogo. They haven't came over to Fund My Comic.
You want to talk
They need to
heavy
do that.
metal, you got to do a twofer show with Luke and Jason, because they can talk all these obscure heavy metal bands.
Oh yeah. I had Luke on one time and Jason, but I'm gonna get him on again. I plan on getting him on again. That's why I try not to ever put the person's name unless I have to. That way we could, you know, I want people to come on a lot, man. I love people coming on the show, you know.
Yeah.
I want to promote.
Well, you
indie
know what
comics,
I try and do with my show? I get people on, like Dan Lawless came on this past week twice, 2 days in a row. I didn't put that up in the title. I kind of like it that way.
Yeah.
You tune into my show or you might miss it.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
You know?
Everybody's got their own thing. I put that shit up there. Then,
there's a lot of channels that they had Dan Lawless on. They'd be retyping the title, Dan Lawless on.
No,
I don't want to do that. I want people to tune in and not expect.
You want the surprise. For me, I put the book up. I put the book that we're talking about. You know, that's usually the book. You know, so if Dan's got a book, I'll put Dan's book up. If Dan don't got a book, I'll probably put Dan's name.
Well, I think that's why I've been so successful with my launch. We made it over $800 in less than an hour. And bless her heart, she cosplayed and had COVID while she was playing Devil Flyer. It turned out to be COVID.
Oh my God.
She couldn't wait. I said, "You can't give me an hour?" She's like, "I'm dying under this thing." So fun.
Well, shoot, Rex, thanks for coming on, man. It's been
thank you for having me on, Matt.
I'm
glad that you know, I've had you on 2 or 3 times. I'm glad I could finally come on your channel. Of course, I was on last week with Doc, but I mean, you know, just to be featured. Thanks for reaching out and featuring a little bit of Devil Flyer.
Yeah, and I expect you to come on again for the next book and whenever. And I love hanging out with you. I also do a show on Saturday nights too. And that's just like a live show where I talk about a bunch of fun shit, you know. And yeah, man, thanks for coming on.
You're killing it, man. You're putting up good content, man. You're bringing, you know, a lot of people who back me. I first featured their projects on my show. That's how I got to know them. That's how they got interested in my project. We all cross-pollinate with each other. That's how we grow this. We help each other out.
You know, and there's been this whole fucking like stupid thing about, oh, well, like Comicsgate and fucking whatever, you know, Comicsgate. It's a lot of creators fucking just backing other creators. Who gives a fuck, motherfucker?
Well, I'm not gonna.
That. Well, that's fine. That's fine if we do back each other.
I'm gonna gatekeep Matt
What's wrong with that?
I don't want to feature Hell War or Butch Cleaver or anything else he does because he's my competition. I'm trying to sell my own thing. That's wrong thing.
Oh, I know
you got to get these creators out there in front of people. We're all unknowns.
No, but the thing is, there's been a lot of stuff too, like in like a lot of like people that are anti-Comicsgate and anti, you know, whatever the fuck we're doing out here, and they're like, well, you know, it's a lot of people, a lot of creators just backing each other. That's fine. Fuck it. Who gives a fuck? We're trying to build something right now, and there's also people that are, you know, and we're trying to network and build stuff. You know, and there's more people that want to come in, and people need to come in. If you're a creator, you're a writer, you're an artist, come the fuck in here. Get in here. We need to let this this medium exist. It needs to be around. It simply needs to be, you know.
Well, like John Mayland said years ago, grab an oar, start, you know, rowing.
Yeah, I mean, he's right in that regard, you know. Like people need to, you know, and I took heart to that, you know. That I ain't gonna lie. Like he did a tweet, you know, people, you know, start making a channel. You know what? And that's I started having people on, and I read a tweet that he said, and that's why I started this video. So the show.
You know, how good is that, you know, to have a channel and you can talk about metal, movies, brewskis, anything you want, comics, pop
That's
culture in general.
that's what I
It's
do.
your
You know?
channel. It's really
Yeah.
technically YouTube's channel, but
Yeah.
you know, as long as you play kind of nice,
Yeah.
you
But
can
hey,
do whatever
what's your
you want.
What's your favorite beer?
Grosh,
Grolsch?
German
this-
beer.
Oh yeah, I know.
You
I
know,
know.
with the porcelain, it's
With the cool
plastic
bottle.
now, pop top.
With the cool
You can
bottle.
drink, you know,
Oh yeah.
you've had 4 or 5, you drink it. I can't finish this. Put the top back on, it won't go flat. They've been brewing it for, I think 2015 was 400 years.
400 years. Now Grolsch is bomb, dude. I haven't had that in a while. I always see it
Yeah.
at Total Wine. I'm like,
It's a
"Man."
little bit more expensive, but it's a little bit more
No.
potent than most American beers.
No, I agree with you.
So
I agree
you
with
have
Rex.
to drink less to get, you know, a little bit more buzz.
Next, if I ever see you in real life, I'm gonna bring you a Grolsch, brother. I'm gonna bring you a fucking Grolsch.
You know what they should do? They should totally lean in, and they didn't do this for their 400th year back in 2015. But remember, before I even started drinking it, I started drinking it back in the early mid 80s when a college friend of mine recommended it, or he was drinking it. He was like, "You ever had a Grosh?" And so cool, you know,
Yeah.
with the pop top and everything.
So cool,
We used
right?
to take those off and use those for stones. In fact,
Oh, yeah.
in fact, you got one right here, and that's a real porcelain one. You know,
That's awesome.
oh, Rex
Yeah.
would never do that. Back in the
Oh, yeah.
college days, I did.
Well, everybody did, man. And
Yeah,
everybody still
but
does.
you know what they should do is bring back the brown bottle for a limited time.
I never seen that one.
Yeah, I didn't. I was. It's always been green. You know, since I've been
green one?
drinking it. In the early days, it was brown. Early days, they've been brewing it for over 400 years.
I like
Yeah.
those old breweries, man. That's why I like Weihenstephaner. That's my
Yeah,
favorite.
I you know, it's kind of got a little hopsy taste, but not overly hopsy.
Oh, it's smooth,
and-
man.
and
It's like
there's
a
some
better
good-
version of Heineken. That's how I always
There's
look
some
at
good
Grolsch.
pale ales. I had a really good pale ale over at Outback not too long
Oh yeah,
ago. Yeah.
I don't really. I mean, to be honest with you, man, I used to like. Yeah, I just been drinking like
Bud Light,
whiskey now and rums and
you
stuff like that.
bastard.
Just because.
Oh,
Sorry, I probably roboted a bit.
yeah,
I'm
you
working on my
did.
shit, but
Yeah, I said Bud Light. I was making a joke.
fuck Bud Light. It's gross. It's just piss and
Yeah,
sugar
fuck Bud Light.
for sure, man. But thanks for coming on, man. Where
Thank
can
you.
people find you at, man?
Man, I'm like bad gum on a shoe on a hot summer day. You won't get rid of me. Like Jason says, I stream all the time. I'm on daily at 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern on my own channel under Devil Flyer. Just look under Devil Flyer. You'll find me. Devil Flyer Momentum. Momentum is my company name. You can find me on Facebook under Rex Christian, on Instagram, which I don't do much with, but I'll be posting some dope stuff on there and doing more with that, my social media. And then on Twitter, for sure. I do a lot of Twitter. So that's where they can find me. If you're on YouTube, I'm streaming. You can generally find me live, and we do everything live, not recorded.
We do it live. Yeah,
We do it live.
sure. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Go back fucking Devil Flyer now. And
Please,
you guys
and thank
are
you.
gonna love it. And always remember to
We-
be bold.
We didn't sell any. We didn't sell any today, folks. We got funded, and they're like, let's go on to something else.
You'll sell some more. And
Yeah,
and
we'll
it's gonna
sell
happen.
some more. I know we
We'll sell
will.
some more. People
Yeah.
are gonna like it. And thanks everybody that stopped by. Always remember to be bold, be brave, and roll the bones to know your role. I'll see you guys later.
Oh, I saw that.
Awaken from a cold cocoon inside a skeletal void.